Welcome, folks. I'm Yvonne Davis, author, astrologer, and life transformation coach. If you're new to my channel, please click subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Click like on this video and share with friends and family. And please leave your comments. I love reading your comments. So, real quick, if you're interested in my financial freedom program, check the link below. Or if you want a private reading, check the link below in the description box, okay? All right, so let's get to it today. The title of this video is, Will Trump Really Leave? This is going to be a fairly complicated explanation. I need to show you six charts to help you to understand what is happening in this karmic pattern that I'm going to show you. It's very complicated. It may take a series in order to break it down and expand on it and go into more depth, but I'm going to give you the full overview with all six charts today. And also, this is going to blow your mind. So I just want you to remember, you saw it here first, okay? All right, let me show you what this is about. All right, so what's happening here is, this is called the U.S. Sibley chart. It's the chart for July 4th, 1776 in Philadelphia, PA. This is the chart that most astrologers use as the birth chart of our nation. And so that's the center chart, okay? So the chart in the center is July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of the Independence. So the birth of the nation has the sun at 13 degrees of Cancer, 19 minutes. And just like everybody has a birthday, the nation has a birthday too. So every year the sun comes around to the same place, and it has its birthday. And we celebrate July 4th. We celebrate our nation's birthday. And we celebrate independence and the values of this country, because that's what this video is about. It's all about the values of this nation, okay? And we celebrate that on July 4th every year. We celebrate Independence Day. And that's one of the values of our country, is independence and freedom. So every year we have, our nation has a birthday, and every year the sun comes around to the same position. That's normal, okay? But this year there's an eclipse on our nation's birthday. Very interesting. The eclipse is right over our nation's sun, okay? When a human being has an eclipse land right over their sun, then you know that something big is coming. It looks like I haven't quite set this chart right for DC. I need to fix that real quick. So let me pause this video. I'm going to do that because I want to make sure it's very clear what I'm saying. All right, so I fixed that. I had to move it forward in time a couple hours because I had changed the location in Washington, D.C. So it's midnight. So we have July 4th, and then at midnight we have the full moon eclipse, okay? And this is right over our nation's sun. So that's a big deal. The fact that our nation has a birthday every year is normal, but the fact that there's an eclipse, a full moon eclipse that year right over our sun, says that there's big change coming, okay? Something is ending. Full moons bring endings. Full moon eclipse bring tremendous change. They bring karma, and they bring a karmic change, okay? So big change is coming with this eclipse, okay? So we got to understand exactly what that means. Like, what do you mean big change is coming? So I'm going to explain that. So notice at the time of this full moon eclipse, Saturn is conjunct our nation's Pluto, okay? So this is the Pluto in the birth chart of the nation. And Saturn is conjoining it. Saturn is all about structure and authority. And Pluto is about power, okay? And it's getting us ready for a Pluto return, because Pluto is about to return to the position of our nation's natal Pluto. What does that mean? Yes, it's about power, but it's also about death and rebirth. And there is going to be a death and rebirth. So a full moon eclipse represents an ending. Pluto conjunct Pluto represents a death and a rebirth, okay? There's a restructuring of power that is coming to our nation, a reconsideration of values. So check this out. Neptune is opposite the natal Neptune, okay? So that's a natal Neptune opposition, okay? This is important because this is about the values and the ideals, and they are in opposition, and we are seeing that play itself out in this nation. The ideals of this country, its values are in the 2nd and 8th house, so this is all about values. Something is ending and something is going to be reborn. Something is dying and something is going to be reborn, and this is karmic. And it's about the opposition of the values and ideals in this country, okay? Because Neptune is all about our ideals, our vision for this country, and we are in opposition, okay? And also, we have the Neptune square to Mars in Gemini up here. This is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is Mars in Gemini. Because he has Mars conjunct his ascendant, he has a very Mars-like personality. So he's represented by Mars, and his sun is in Gemini. He is a Gemini, okay? So this is Donald Trump, the Mars energy in the sign of Gemini, squaring Neptune down here in the house of home. He's in the White House, okay? So these are his values, or, yeah, I guess that's probably a good way to say it, but there's something about it that it's like he's the reality TV show president, okay? He's the one whose values, personal values, are all about self, not about the nation, okay? And as I've said before, he's a pathological liar. So that's the square of Neptune in the White House to up here. This is Mars. This is Mars in Gemini. This is Donald Trump. It could also be the square is about the fact that he's squaring off with the ideals of our nation's institutions. Okay, because the 4th house represents the White House. It represents our fatherland. It represents our institutions. Okay, the institutions of the nation. The White House is like a manifestation of the values and institution of our nation. And he's squaring off against them. And this is creating an opposition in the nation, an opposition in our values and our vision for this nation. What is this nation about? What are our ideals? We're in opposition, okay, about what our ideals and vision are for this country. So something really important is coming. This eclipse is going to click off the unfolding of the karma where this nation is concerned. So that's the first chart I wanted to show you. And then the second one has to do with the inauguration on January 20th, 2021. So let me pull that chart up. Okay, so let me show you really quickly. You can see here, this is Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2021. And look at what's happening. We have a square. Uranus and Mars are conjunct at 6 degrees, 44 minutes. And the moon is moving into conjunction. So this Uranus-Mars conjunction is like TNT. It's highly, highly explosive. And the moon is moving in there. Moon is your emotions and subconscious, and it represents the people. The people, oh my goodness, this is revolutionary. This is revolution energy, okay? And it's squaring Saturn. Saturn conjunct the sun. This is the authority. And Jupiter, all these planets are all about authority. And this is about revolution, okay? There's a revolution coming. And so I want to be very clear about this. This is karmic, okay? Regardless of who is elected president on election day 2020, whoever is putting their hand on the Bible on this day, inauguration day, January 20th, 2021, whoever is there, it actually doesn't matter. Now, just please hold on to your wigs. Don't flip your wigs here. I'm telling you the truth. That astrologically, we are watching karma unfold, and that it actually doesn't matter who becomes president. I know that sounds insane, but just bear with me. I'm going to explain why that matters. Because karmically, we are set for a revolution in this country. And there is nothing that's going to stop it. It's not going to stop just because somebody like Buttigieg gets elected president. It's not going to stop just because Bernie gets elected president. It's not going to stop just because Biden gets elected president. It's not going to stop just because Warren gets elected president, or any of the others who are in the top running right now for the Democratic candidacy. It doesn't matter if Bloomberg gets elected president. So it doesn't matter if Trump gets elected president. I know that sounds insane, but that is the truth. This revolution is coming. Doesn't matter who gets elected. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Trump. It doesn't matter if it's Warren. It doesn't matter if it's Biden. It doesn't matter if it's Buttigieg. It doesn't matter if it's Bernie. It doesn't matter. This is karmic, and a revolution is coming, and it doesn't matter who gets elected president. This revolution is coming, okay? So that's what I want you to hold. I know you're not going to believe me. I know it. You're going to say, oh yeah, we'll be saved if Biden gets elected, or whoever it is that you're wanting. But I'm telling you, it actually doesn't matter. Even if the safest candidate you can possibly imagine gets elected, your favorite candidate gets elected, it's actually not going to matter. This revolution is coming. Okay? So that's probably the most craziest thing you've ever heard me say on this channel. And again, I hope you're not all flipping your wigs. You got to trust me. You've been with me this long, I hope I'm trustworthy as an astrologer, and I'm telling you the truth. So I'm going to show you some other things to help you to understand the full meaning of this pattern here. It's a karmic pattern that's unfolding, and it's going to unfold no matter who gets elected. And I know you're not believing me, but I'm telling you the truth. Okay, now I'm going to help you to understand why that is the truth. I'm going to show you another chart. So the first thing you have to see here and hold in your mind is Uranus and Mars are conjunct, and the moon is moving also into conjunction with Uranus and Mars, okay? And the three of them together is a powder keg. It's explosive. It's TNT. And then the square over here to Saturn is a revolution, okay? Look at all those squares. This is a revolution. These three here, Sun, Saturn, Jupiter, squaring Uranus, Mars, Moon. It's a revolution. And Neptune is still in opposition to our natal Neptune. I showed you that in the first chart. Neptune in Pisces is in opposition to our natal Neptune. And it's an opposition about values and ideals and the vision for this country. What does this country stand for? What are our ideals? What is our vision for this country? We are in opposition right now. So now I'm going to show you the next chart. Okay, you got to hold that in your mind. Neptune in Pisces, Uranus, Mars, Moon in conjunction, squaring Saturn. Keep that in mind when I show you this next chart. This is the American Civil War. It started on April 12th, 1861 at Fort Sumter, South Carolina. The Confederate Army attacked Fort Sumter, South Carolina. That was the beginning of the Civil War. Look at what we have here. Uranus conjunct Mars, with the moon moving into conjunction with the Uranus-Mars conjunction. This only takes a few days to come to full alignment, full conjunction. And I didn't study how long that first attack lasted. I know how long the war lasted, but I didn't go into depth about how long that war lasted. But this happens within a day. Okay, this happens within 24 hours. The Uranus-Mars Moon conjunction within 24 hours of the attack on April 12th. And I set it for 3 p.m. So it's possible that by midnight that night, all three of these were in conjunction, because it doesn't take that long for the moon to move, maybe about 15 or 16 degrees. It doesn't take that long. But here's the deal. With the Uranus-Mars Moon conjunction is square to Saturn. Okay? And that was a kind of revolution in our country. The Civil War was a kind of revolution in our country. And here we go again, Neptune in Pisces. It was about the opposition of values in our country. We were in opposition as to what are the values of our country? What is our ideal? What is our vision for this country? We were in opposition. So the next thing I want to show you is I think I want to show you the return chart for the Civil War. Let's see here. Okay. All right, so okay, so that was the American Civil War. Pluto true node return. Oh, I know. Okay, now I remember why I made this chart. So this is the part that's really going to blow your mind. Okay, so this is a Pluto true node return on March 22nd, 2016. Okay, so when I was looking at the American Civil War and I saw where the node was at 17 degrees of Capricorn, 18 minutes in Capricorn, okay? Pluto made the return to the north node of the American Civil War. The nodes are karmic. This is a karmic point, okay? The very day that the American Civil War began, with the Confederate Army attacking Fort Sumter, that very day, this is where the North Node was, 17 degrees of Capricorn, 18 minutes. This is a Pluto return to the North Node. What day did Pluto return to the North Node, which was the karmic imprint of the beginning of the American Civil War? It was March 22nd, 2016. Well, let me tell you what happened on March 22nd, 2016. Oh my goodness, I'm getting shivers all over my body, goosebumps. Folks, this is really going to blow your mind when I show you what happened. On March 22nd, 2016, that was Super Tuesday, March 2016, 22nd, Super Tuesday. Let's go look at what happened on Super Tuesday, 2016, March 22nd, 2016, the very day that Pluto returned to the North Node, the karmic point of the beginning of the Civil War, Donald Trump appeared as the front runner of the Republican Party, and he became the candidate for presidential election of the Republican Party. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. My brain's still trying to settle down inside my skull. Oh my God. All righty. Let's go back and look at the charts a little bit more. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to look at the return chart for the Declaration of Independence. So I'll pull that chart up again. Actually, what I can do is I'm going to do the Sibley chart return. So yeah, there we go. Okay, so here it is. So again, this is our nation's birth chart, July 4th, 1776, Philadelphia, PA. That's the chart in the center. This is a solar return chart for July 4th, okay? And so we see the eclipse. So it all comes back. It's all, it's a spiral of consciousness expansion. It all comes back, okay? There's something else I have to show you, which has to do with where the solar return is. So it actually doesn't matter if we look at the solar return chart for our Declaration of Independence or if we look at the eclipse chart, because they're only a few hours away. So the solar return for July 4th this year is at basically 5 p.m. And the eclipse is at midnight. So it really doesn't matter. The planets don't move that much. But the vertex is there, see? Vertex is fate. There's something fated happening in our nation this year. And so I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the eclipse chart so we can see with the moon here at 13 degrees when it's opposite the sun in the sky, and that's when the full moon eclipse is exact. But see here in the solar return chart of our nation, Uranus, the planet of revolution, is at 10 degrees of Taurus. So I'm going to show you something else that you will find very interesting. Alrighty. So let's go back to the American Civil War chart. This is the inner chart is the birth chart of the American Civil War, okay? And so in the birth chart of the American Civil War, Pluto is 8 degrees of Taurus. Uranus is conjoining that natal Pluto. So let me say that one more time. It's a revolution, okay? Pluto is death and rebirth. Uranus is a revolution. And this is the birth chart. The inner chart is the birth chart of the American Civil War. And in the July 4th chart, which is an eclipse, a full moon eclipse right over our nation's natal sun, Uranus is basically in conjunction. That is a conjunction. It's less than a 2-degree orb. Uranus, the planet of revolution, is right over Pluto, the planet of power, birth, and death and rebirth. There's a revolution coming, and it is karmic, and it is fated, and there is nothing that can stop this. So I'm guessing the question in your mind is how much is it going to look like the original American Civil War? And I know you're not going to believe me. You're not going to believe that it doesn't matter who gets elected president. This revolution is coming. But we'll just put that aside for the moment, and we'll just talk about how much is it going to look like the first Civil War. Well, what I want you to understand is, like I said, everything comes around again on the spiral of consciousness expansion. That's why astrology works. And that's why someone who is a good astrologer can see the patterns, okay? And I know what to look for. And I looked and I saw it. And so, so that's how I know. I know what's coming. And it will get kicked off on Inauguration Day. And because half the nation, no matter who wins the president, half the nation is going to be in the streets. It's going to be a revolution, and it actually doesn't matter who the president is, because the other half that wanted something different is going to revolt. Okay, and this is all about redefining the values of this nation. What are our values? What is our vision for this nation? What is our ideal for this nation? That's what this is about, okay? So the question of how much is it going to look like the original Civil War? I think that it's not going to look like the original Civil War. So just calm down, okay? I don't want to freak you all out. It's not going to look like that, okay? But there will be some violence. Just like in the 2018 elections, some people took it upon themselves. They thought they had to go out and fight for whatever they believed was worth fighting for, like the man who went into a synagogue and shot up a bunch of people, or the man who sent out pipe bombs, that kind of thing. Yes, it will happen. And that's nothing new. You know, there are people out there who think that they need to commit murder in order to stand up for what they believe. This is a different kind of battle. This is a different kind of revolution. So while there will be people in the streets, there will be people revolting, there will be some violence, because some people think the only way to fight is through murder. But for the most part, we're fighting with words this time, okay? This is a war of words. This is a war of ideas. And so it's not going to look like the original American Civil War. It's going to be more of the flavor of Martin Luther King when he had people marching in the streets. Okay, it's going to be more like that. And yes, some people were hurt. Some people died. And I'm not saying there won't be any violence like that, but it's not going to be anything like the original American Civil War. This is a war of words. And I actually trust. So, you know, I have to say that over and over and over and over and over again, because I know this is scary for a lot of people, what we're going through in this nation. But I'm letting you know that I really do trust that we're going to get through this, and that it's the death of the old order. It's the birth of the new. And it's the birth of the new values that this country stands for, which actually go back to the original values of our nation. All men are equal under God. And that includes women too. You know, all men as in all humans. We're all equal under God. And it says so in our Declaration of Independence. So we're actually going back to our original values. The old order has to do with those who want to believe they are superior and who want to continue to create differences in wealth and power. They want to continue to dominate because if you can dominate through wealth and power and your own sense of superiority and push the others down and keep them from their power, keep them from their wealth, then you can maintain your higher status, or at least in your own mind, you can maintain that. It's the depth of those values. That's the old order. Okay. So I can imagine that this video is going to get tons and tons and tons of comments, and yes, I welcome it. After all, this is what our nation is facing, so we may as well start getting ready for it. And I don't mean that in a way of you know, being angry or hateful. Really, the way to get ready for it is to learn how to stay centered, stay grounded, and stay in your heart, be present, stay connected to your heart, stay connected to what you truly, truly value. Because that's why I keep saying you have to have trust in divine justice. You have to have ultimate faith in your values and the long game. Because I know that the end of this long game is the death of the old order and the birth of the new order, which is a new empowered nation, a new empowered humanity, a new empowered democracy. That's what's coming. Okay? When I say death of the old, I mean the old order of domination, of this idea of supremacy, and putting other people down and trying to keep them down, trying to oppress them and keep them from their wealth and power. That's the old order, and it's the death of the old order, and it's the birth of something new. After all, this is the age of Aquarius. And I wonder if I will dare to sing that song for you. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, Aquarius. All right, hope you all didn't stick cotton in your ears. So yes, that's where we're headed, and it is going to get better. So, but you know how they say it's darkest before the dawn. So remember, we got to learn how to stay connected to our hearts, stay present, grounded, centered, fill our hearts with love, make enough space for everybody, everybody. Okay? That's what true democracy is about. Is there space for everybody? All righty. Well, that brings us to the end, and I will probably have to do a series on this because I know this was a lot. And so just stay tuned, and I will see you again next time.